Hi, I'm Nate Watts. You're watching ForBassPlayersOnly.com. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to ForBassPlayersOnly.com. I'm Jon Liebman, founder and first baseman. You know, a lot of people think they're too old or it's too late for them to learn how to play an instrument. So I created For Bass Players Only for people mostly over 50 who want to learn to play bass, because I believe you're never too old and it's never too late to experience the joy and the pleasure of making music. For Bass Players Only, this is the place. Oh, have we got a great interview this week? Nate Watts. You know him from Stevie Wonder's albums. He's been playing with Stevie for darn near 50 years now on some classic albums, Songs in the Key of Life, Hotter Than July, Woman in Red, Jungle Fever, and those great bass lines you hear on Sir Duke. That's Nate, and I Wish, and Do I Do. And Nate has also recorded with Harvey Mason, Sergio Mendes, the Jackson 5, Diana Ross, Paul McCartney, the Pointer Sisters, Lionel Richie. The list goes on. Hello, Nate. Welcome back to For Bass Players Only. It's great to see you.
Good to be here, man. It's good to be here.
And I should have mentioned born in Detroit, so I knew I liked you right away. Even
That's where I'm at now. I'm in Detroit right now at my brother's house.
Well, I'm right up the road. The last interview we did, actually, we were in Detroit. That interview was published on September 15th, 2014.
I forgot about that.
We were standing inside United Sound Studio.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember.
It was for a Detroit bass players function.
Yeah, we're going to do bass player again this year. It's the 10th anniversary.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll be there. But boy, that building's got some history. Yeah, United Sound. Everybody from Miles Davis and Charlie Parker recorded there. Muddy Waters,
everybody.
Franklin, Parliament, Funkadelic, Bootsy.
That's right.
All the way up to the Rolling Stones and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's right. You're right about that.
Let's talk about you. What's going on? What's keeping you busy? I know there's one thing very special that's on your mind. So talk to me.
All right. I am finishing up my album, my first album. And we just came from Jamaica. And I got everybody on this album. Everybody. I got Ralph Armstrong. I got so many people on there. Marcus. I got Marcus. I got Victor Wooten. I got Brian Miller, Brandon Rose. All these people are on one cut. It's going to be incredible. I mean, I'm doing a lot of different stuff on the album. It's called Music Multiplex. So, it's got every genre of music you think about.
You mentioned that. You hinted at that back in 2014. I'm so
right. I started, but the pandemic just like said, "Hey, here."
You mentioned some Detroit folks in there, but I gotta ask you, Brandon Rose. He must be a man by now, because I remember he was a kid.
Man.
His father used to take him.
Yeah. Let me tell you about this kid. Okay, when the Dime was down in Detroit, I met him. He came down to one of the clinics I did, right?
Yeah.
And he said, Mr. Watts, can I, he was 17, 16, 17, or something like that. He said, can I play something for you? I said, yeah, sure, kid. It's okay. And he came in the room. He played Isn't She Lovely? Boom, 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 all the chords and stuff. I said, oh, man, that was amazing. I said, but I think you might be in the wrong key. What key are you in? He said, I don't know. He just graduated from Michigan State with a master's degree, okay? Oh, no, a doctor's degree. I think a master. No, master's. Master was master's. Can you believe it? God is good all the time. The boy is bad. He's great.
I used to see him. His father used to take him everywhere. Great father. To the NAMM shows and to, I think, Potato maybe, and all the bass functions around the world.
John is an incredible father, man. Everybody should be so blessed. That's for sure.
Tell me more about what is it called? Multiplex? Bass multiplex?
Yeah, music multiplex.
Music multiplex.
I put a compilation of songs for every genre that I ever played, like for rock, from soul, from rap, from jazz. I mean, it's got everything. I'll send it. I did my nephew did a artistry of a music theater where everybody's just dancing in different doors and different sounds. So that's the way it's going to be.
Is the record out?
No, it won't be out until August. I'm gonna debut it at the Bass Day, in August 19th in Detroit.
Okay, wonderful. Is it, other than that one track that you mentioned, is it primarily a bass record? You mentioned a bunch of different genres. Are they all heavy like that, or?
No, I mean, I wish I could play some, but I can't. I'm on the phone. But it's got every genre you could think of. Like I said, rock and roll.
Right.
I got reggae. I got every song, all different songs. The song I told you with the bass player is just one song with all the great bass players. That's just one of the songs on the album.
Well, we can't wait.
That's great.
What about Stevie? Does he have any new records in the works?
We recorded something, and I better shut up. But he's working on it right now. He's working on. We actually did a song with me, Ray Parker, and Anderson Pop playing the rhythm section.
Wow, that's quite a cross section.
Yes, and it's kicking, man. I ain't gonna tell you what it is, but it's kicking. It's kicking real good. He's working hard on it. He's trying to finish up the album.
Wow. Well, we can't wait for that either. Hey, I want to mention, when we did that last interview, you told a great story. You were in England, you said, for the Queen's Jubilee, however many years ago that was. And you're sitting there at Buckingham Palace hanging out with Paul McCartney, who went on and on about what famous bass player from Detroit?
Yeah, let me say this. The first thing about it is this. I went up to Paul and said, "Can I speak to you, sir?" He said, "Yeah, come on." I said, "Thank you for letting me play on Say, Say, Say. I know I did it with Michael, and I thought you were going to overdub it, but you let it stay." He said, "Man, I love the way it felt, and I love the way it felt, and I couldn't take it off. It was great." And I said, "Well, thank you very much. I learned so much from Jameson and you." He said, "Hold, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you. We've learned so much from Jameson. We've learned." And I was like, "Oh," and because Jameson used to call me son. He used to call me, say, "You one of my sons now." Before he passed, God bless. But it's amazing to hear Paul McCartney talk about Jameson. That's how much influence he had on the world. That's for sure. And I learned a lot of stuff from him. One of the good things about that is that from Jameson, when I auditioned with Steve, right, where I went to play with him at a Push concert in 1974, and we went backstage, and I started playing "I Was Made to Love Her," because that was one of the 45s that my cousin had. That's when I went in the basement and learned. He was surprised that I knew that. So, and then on and on from there.
Tell me more about that audition. What was that like? Was
it
like?
Let me tell you, you ain't gonna believe this. This is something good. I went on. He said they called me up 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before a gig he had for the Push concert, Jesse Jazz Push concert in Memphis, Tennessee. So he said, "Learn as much as you can, and we'll fly you down." So we flew me down. I went backstage and I went over a couple of songs. All right, and I had a national bass. Anybody know who that is?
National?
From Montgomery Wards. From Montgomery Wards, man. It was amazing. It was totally amazing. It was a cheap, short scale bass. And wait. Anyway, so the first songs were kind of good. And then the third song was Contusions, which I never had heard. Okay? So I just went over and watched his left hand. And every time he hit the left hand, I hit that note. He finally went back home. He finally called me back out to LA. I auditioned against other guys who were more advanced, because I only been playing 2 years.
Right.
All right? And they were more advanced. But I think the reason he liked me as a player, but he said, he told me, who recommended me for this gig was Ray Parker, right? He recommended me. He said, "Yeah, Ray, he could be good, but his bass sounds funny." So I had to borrow Ray's bass, the Fender Precision, to do the audition. Okay? And I said, "I'm not going back. I'm not going back to Detroit. I'm not going back to the Fairview. And what made it happen was that a lot of guys were more advanced than I was, but I could hear. I learned from ear. And he would play something, I would play it back. That's the only reason. He took a chance on me, and I thank him for that.
Wow. How many guys were there? How many people?
Three.
Oh.
It was Ed Brown and Hamer. I forgot his first name. It was only two. It was only two. And then it was only two guys. It was three of us all together. I was lucky, man. I was praying hard. A lot of prayer.
Yeah, well, you got it.
Yep.
What are you playing now? Tell me about your.
I played a bossa. I've been playing bossas. I put all my fingers up, and I'm playing. What's the other one? I'm mostly on the road is bossas, the red bass you see all the time.
Yeah, you primarily a four stringer.
Five.
I
graduated.
All right. What about strings and amps and effects? And
I've been using. I tried this new Zoom effect not too last week, and it was great. This new Zoom effect it had all the stuff in it. And strings, I've been doing. I go through a whole bunch of different things. So elixirs is what I basically use, though. Elixirs.
Okay. I want to take this opportunity to ask you for advice for somebody who wants to learn bass. For Bass Players Only is a bass instruction site. Most of the people that come to For Bass Players Only every day from all over the world, from almost all 50 states and 50, 60 countries around the world, these are mostly men in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They're not trying to get the Stevie Wonder gig or, I don't think they would, but no, I'm just making a point. They're not career bound. They just want to have some fun and play some classic rock riffs and some blues shuffles and, maybe a little funk R&B. And a lot of times when you get to be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, things like arthritis and tendonitis and those other things creep into your body. So I'm just setting a context here. What do you have to say to those people? What should they be thinking about? What's important for them to know as far as learning to play bass?
First, you must start simple. Learn simple stuff first and advance yourself as you go. And soon, once you get the repetition in your head of learning simple and repetition in your head, period, it'll come to you automatically. That's it. 50 years old, I'm surprised. I'm almost 70 and I'm still playing. Okay? And I still have a little tendonitis, but I won't let it get the best of me. I'll put some, whatever I can put on it to make it stop, So you got to be really determined. If you want to play, you got to be determined in the first place. That's the first thing. And start simple. Learn simple bass lines and advance in 6 months, advance to something more harder. You know what I mean? But just get your technique together, like, the technique that you want that feels good to you and don't bother you. Okay?
Yeah. Excuse me, Nate. I think I can see some of your hand in front of the camera there. If you could.
I did that to show my hands playing the bass.
No, I mean your other hand holding the
You can?
There.
Where?
Yeah. There you go. That's
there you go. Oh, thank you, brother.
Something else. You raise another good point. If you want to play one of those Motown tunes or Jamerson tunes or something like that, you don't necessarily have to play exactly what he's playing. You can, to your point, play it simple, but it doesn't have to be all the notes that Jamerson played. You can still capture the essence of that song, right?
That's very, very true, because there's very many people that can play all the notes. I just saw a girl on social media was playing, and I was surprised that she got as much as she did. And she was good. She was good at it. There's a lot of good kids coming out now, Brian. Yeah. A lot of good kids. But for us older people, we got to concentrate a little bit more. Okay? That's it.
Well, you raise yet another good point. A lot of the people on YouTube just have this technique and this facility that's unbelievable.
Right.
Too many times they're doing stuff that, it's great to watch and it's really cool.
Right.
that's not really what people want in a
More.
bass player or need in a bass player. You
Oh,
gotta,
that's very sad. The one thing that I wonder sometimes with all the talents and all the talents that's on there, can they hold a groove? Okay. We started out grooving as a bass player. We was grooving. And you will never know. There's a lot of cats that's tops. And kids that's doing great stuff. But I never heard them play with a band and groove. They this exhibitionists, you know what I mean? And people don't want to hear that. They want to hear something that makes you happy. My bad, my hand. Oh, oh. That's it.
that's very true. What about the future? You mentioned a couple of very exciting projects, your own album and the
Well,
one with Stevie.
hopefully we do one more tour. I've been trying to talk to them, do one more final tour, you know? And we're doing at the end of the year, we're doing the 25th anniversary of House Full of Toys. We have that every year for kids. And last year, I think we got like 2 semis full of trucks for kids for toys. Hopefully, this is the 25th anniversary, and it's going to be great.
Wow.
It's going to be great.
Who's coming out to the shows? Is it old people that remember from the 60s or is it young?
Young and old. But during the pandemic, I think we did a show. It was all a mixed crowd when we did House Full of Toys of this year. We did it at the end of last year, okay? And it was a whole mixed crowd, young and old. And people was enjoying. We had a great time.
The young people like
they was bobbing. They was bobbing their heads, yes. That's it. But he's still got a fan base of almost 30, 40 years. You know what I mean?
More than that.
More than that. That's right. So
yeah.
Hopefully this one's gonna be the grand time this year, 25th anniversary.
Wow. Anything else, Nate, that's happening or coming up?
No, I'm supposed to go back to LA. I'll let you know. And we'll do another interview in about 6 months and see what's going on. You come to Bass Day, right?
Sure, I'll be there.
Okay, good. We'll sit down and do an interview with all the cats there.
There you go.
Byron, Ralph Armstrong. You haven't did a Ralph yet, have you?
I've interviewed Ralph at least 3 times. We went to Germany together. We hung out.
Okay, good. What about I know Victor and Marcus got a different schedule now, but I'm gonna do some of the young guys and these are from Detroit to play Detroit based to play today. I'm trying to find.
I should interview Brandon.
Yes, you should. I'm trying to get him, but he said he don't know he's gonna make it. But if he doesn't, you know your young girl Izzy Savalas? Look her up.
Sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah,
somebody just mentioned. Yeah.
When I first met her, like 4 years ago, she was playing bass in London. Now she's blew up very well. I'm gonna try to use her too. Yeah, that's it. But it's gonna be great.
What would you be if you weren't a bass player? Something outside of music.
Mad. Postal. Postal. God has blessed me, man. I said one thing. I was a musician. Me, Ray, and I had a band in elementary called an angel school called the Stingrays. And one day I went on the top porch of my. We lived upstairs in Virginia Park, and I said, God, I want to see the world, and He made that happen. I've been around the world 5 times. Wow. If I want a bass player, I know I want. I worked a week at Ford's right before I got this gig. Yeah. A week.
You told me.
1 week in the Foundry. Yeah. Foundry is worst place in the world, man. Really, it really is. But God bless me, so I don't know what I'll be if I want a musician, a bass player. But I'm glad that God made me.
You said something about accounting or an accountant. Is there?
I was going to WC3.
Okay, Wayne County Community College.
Yeah, I was going there too when I was working at Ford. So I'd have been postal. I couldn't have been an accountant. Oh man, I'm sorry. No, I had too much music and too much love, and I'm not saying anything against accountants, but it wasn't for me. Yeah. It wasn't for me.
Gotcha. Well, Nate, congratulations on all your success, past and future, and we're really excited about the new album, and we will definitely share the information with these nice people here. And Keep doing what you're doing. I think you've still got a lot of notes left in you.
Oh, I still got a lot, baby. And thank you for your support, people, and you too, John. All right.
Thank you. I'm Jon Liebman, your founder and first baseman for Bass Players Only. A lot of people think they're too old or it's too late for them to learn how to play an instrument. So I created ForBassPlayersOnly.com for people mostly over 50 who want to play an instrument, because I believe you're never too old and it's never too late to experience the joy and the pleasure of making music. For Bass Players Only, this is the place. Thanks again to our very special guest this week, Nate Watts. I will see you all next week, same time, same place. In the meantime, let's play bass.
Thank you, John.